Hello, Pokemon trainers. I am BK Vaz, and this is my first upload to my new YouTube channel. I plan on using this channel for Pokemon related ideas, mostly Pokemon Go, but occasionally some main series stuff too. I plan on doing weekly Pokemon Go recap videos that will go over my catches and progress from previous week, as well as looking ahead to the upcoming week and my general thoughts on the state of the game. I would also like to do some more sporadic uploads that discuss other aspects of Pokemon, whether that be collecting, battling, trading, or other niche subjects that I might be interested in. With all that being said, I hope you enjoy my goal-oriented playstyle, and let's get right into this recap. Shinies. Starting off with my shiny catches this week, as you can see, we've got some pretty good ones. There's a few common shinies in here, but the one I'm most happy about is this shiny Galarian Moltres. This is actually my 47th Galarian bird encounter since the shinies have been released, and that was about a year ago actually. I've caught about 5 other Galarian birds, but none were shiny until this one. So yeah, it took quite some time to obtain this, but I'm very happy with it. As you can see, it's named Strega after Strega Nona, so I caught it while I was staying at my Nona's house. The next big shiny after that is this Origin Dialga. I caught it at Raid Day, and unfortunately it is missing the Roar of Time move. But that's alright. Hopefully I can use it for trading for someone that needs the shiny Dex entry or something like that. I also picked up the shiny Dunsparce, which I guess that's not too special. But since it just came out this week, I thought it was worth a mention. Unfortunately, I didn't get any 3-segment form to Dunsparces yet, but I'll probably keep going for it. The last shiny this week, my search term's a little messed up here because I was including from today, but there we go. Oh, I guess technically it's not, but yeah, I'm not going to count the Scyther Meowth because I caught this today. The Larvitar I caught last night before the daily reset. But this is the last major shiny of the last week that I'm counting. But I actually caught this last night because I couldn't sleep and I woke up in the middle of the night, so I decided to do my balloon battle, which was a cliff, and it ended up being this nice Shadow Shiny Larvitar. The stats are not that great. Which is fine. Larvitar is still in the rotation, and it will be for quite some time. So hopefully I can pick up at least another 3-star to power up before it becomes less common. If we move over to the perfects now, we only got 1 4-star this week, that being this Alolan Grimer. There you go. I feel like 4-stars are so much harder to obtain consistently than shinies. That makes collecting them so much more interesting. But I don't really have anything else to say about the Grimer. I did hatch it. It wasn't a catch, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, this is a new 4-star from my collection, so I can't be upset about that. In terms of research, I'm entirely caught up on all my active research. Unfortunately, I don't find the seasonal research to ever be too challenging, so they will rarely ever be featured in my recaps. I do prefer difficult and long-term research challenges, as I'm sure most people do, but at the moment there aren't any available for me to do, which is fine. I do prefer to actually set a lot of personal goals anyway, which I will track and elaborate on in the future when they become relevant. Looking ahead to the upcoming week, there's really only one event going on. I guess technically 2, but I kind of count it as like a part of the major event, and I'll get into it after. But either way you slice it, this week is going to be pretty productive. The Steel Skyline event is starting tomorrow, and we'll be introducing Dynamax Duraludon along with a bunch of other bonuses. To focus on Duraludon first, I find this release very interesting for a couple of reasons. First, it's going to be debuting as a shiny eligible Pokemon, which is always really cool to have. And I like that they've been doing that quite a bit with this event, and not the previous one, but the one before last week's was the Psychic Spectacular, where they also debuted Shiny Indeedee along with normal Indeedee. So I hope they keep up this track record of introducing Pokemon along with their shiny form. It makes it a lot more exciting. Second, Duraludon is going to be exclusively encountered as a Dynamax Pokemon, which is not really a super common thing that happens in this game, which is I also find very interesting. There's also even going to be field research tasks that will reward straight up Dynamax Duraludon. So this is, I believe, the first time you can also just get Dynamax encounters from field research, which is very nice. And the last major point to deal with Duraludon is that Duraludon actually has an evolution. It is called Archaludon or Archaludon. It has a couple different pronunciations. But for those of you who don't know, Duraludon was introduced in the Generation 8 games, Sword and Shield, but it's got its evolution in the final expansion of Scarlet and Violet, which is a Generation 9 game. So even though Duraludon can Dynamax and even Gigantamax in Sword and Shield, Archaludon never could, which makes me very curious as to how they're going to handle it when it comes to Pokemon Go. I wonder, is it going to be like, will Dynamax Duraludons like just never be able to evolve? Will Archaludon become like a raid exclusive of Pokemon, kind of like how Weirdeer and Cleaver are, how they're evolutions to previous Pokemon, but you can't evolve them, you can only catch them from raids? Or what I would hope for and prefer, but maybe it is too hopeful, is possibly Archaludon will be able to Dynamax for the very first time in Pokemon Go. It'll be the first time a Pokemon could not Dynamax in the main series, but will be able to in Go. I think that will be super interesting for the future of Dynamax as well, because then you can have other Pokemon that were not in Sword and Shield and couldn't Dynamax as Dynamax releases in Pokemon Go. It'd be cool and unexpected, and I would like to see that happen. Either way, whichever way it goes, I know I'm going to be grinding a lot of Duraludon encounters to farm up candies for the future release of Archaludon, however you want to say it. I do kind of like it. It has a lot of potential to be very good in Go, thanks to its pseudo-legendary stats. Even though it's technically not pseudo-legendary, but it has the same base stat total, being 600. So you can expect it to be around the same tier's power of like a Tyranitar, a Salamence, a Hydreigon, because it just has that type of stats. The main bonuses of the Steel Skyline event are also very, very good. There are 3. The first one is increased Candy and Candy XL chance for knife throws or better. The second is boosted XP from raids, and the third one, which is the biggest and most important, is guaranteed rare Candy XL from max battles. We'll have to earn each of these through a global challenge, and according to the earlier time zones, it seems like they're going to be a little bit more difficult than usual, but hopefully the final bonus will kick in with a few days left to take advantage of those guaranteed rare XL candies. In terms of raids, we're going to be having Dialga in 5-star raids this week, and the Origin form will be around for raid hour. I don't think I'll be doing any Dialga raids this week, actually. I did get a lot of candy from last week's raid hour, and I want to keep focusing on shadow raids for rare shinies, purifiable hundos, and just an overall more difficult challenge. A current goal of mine is actually to solo raid a Shadow Sableye without any weather boosts, so I hope I can report back on that successfully in the next recap next week. The raids I will be focusing on, though, will actually be Mega Metagross, which will be debuting in a raid day this Saturday. I've got 2 perfect Metagrosses ready to Mega Evolve, and even though it won't be the best Steel type attacker, I'm still, pretty excited because it's a really cool Mega. It's the last non-legendary Mega from the original lineup too, from Generation 6. So I'll be probably doing my free raids. I don't think I'll be spending any green passes on it though. Another thing I would like to touch on now that we're getting towards the end of this video, is that I do like that all of the 5 and 4-star raids are steel types to coincide with the Steel Skyline event. I think it's always very nice when the raids and the events are equal to each other. Sometimes there's a psychic event and there's a dragon type in the raids, and it doesn't really make much sense, or psychic type event, excuse me, and the raid boss has nothing to do with the event. But I like this, that, you know, that Alga is a steel type and it's in 5-star raids, and all the steel type megas will be in 4-star raids, with Mega Metagross making its debut. Now, for my question of the day. How do you feel about Duraludon's release in Pokemon Go? And how do you think they will handle its evolution, Archaludon? Let me hear some ideas down in the comments. Thank you all for tuning in today. Since it is my first video, I'm sure there will be some kinks to be ironed out in the future, but all things considered, I think we had some fun. If you enjoyed these, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe, and feel free to discuss or critique in the comments. I love and encourage discussion, so I'll do my best to reply too. Good luck on your hunts, and I'll see you next time.